Students, today I would be teaching you economics. So let us start with the first chapter. So let us know what is your first chapter. It is about economics. So first let us define what is economics. Alright, so let us write definition of economics. So basically what do we mean by economics? So let us know few facts. What do we know about economics? So let me jot down some points so that it will be better for you to understand. So let us know what is economics. Firstly, we know it is a type of social science, but not fully social science. So let us define it. So economics is a social science which studies the economic problems of a society. So we need to know what are the economic problems of a society, and for that we need to study a particular subject that is known as economics. So economics is a type of social science. So there are two types of activities in a society. One is economic activity and another one is non-economic activity. So firstly we need to distinguish between them. So first let me write down what is economics. So So as I told you that there can be two types of activities in a society. One is economic activity. So first let us know what is an economic activity. So economic activities. So what are economic activities? So as you all can see on the screen, what are economic activities? We can write economic activities means the act of earning and spending money can be concerned as economic activity. Means suppose you work in a multinational company and you earn a certain amount of money. So by using that money you can spend it on various consumer goods as well as luxury goods. So all this spending and earning can be referred to as economic activities. So let me write down two main points. Firstly, it is the act of earning, and secondly it is the act of spending. So basically these two are the more important points regarding economic activities. Now we need to know what are non-economic activities, but before that we need to know what kinds of goods are involved in economic activities. So as we can see this term economic, we can refer to as that economic goods are available in case of economic activities. So what are economic goods? So let me first define to you what are economic goods. So what are economic goods? Economic goods are any physical commodity or service which yields utility and has an exchange price in the market. So let me firstly explain to you what is utility. Utility means the amount of satisfaction which you are getting by consuming a product. Utility is nothing but the amount of satisfaction measured in terms of utils. So this is basically known as utility. You will learn about it in your higher classes or in the next chapters. So this is just the basic idea of utility. Just you keep in mind one word, that is satisfaction. Okay, so what are economic goods? Economic goods are physical. Economic goods are physical goods or services in exchange of some money. So this is just the basic definition of economic goods. So let us proceed about the definitions of economics, which is mainly our concern for this particular chapter. So now we know there has been many economists who has given various definitions regarding what is economics. So let us learn one by one what are these definitions. So let me tell you about the definitions of economics. There are basically 4 groups of these definitions. So firstly let us know what are these 4 groups. So let me first write what are they. So as we can see, the definitions of economics can be classified into 4 groups. So let us know what are these 4 groups. So let me tell you about all these 4 groups. So the first group is of definition is the wealth definitions. The second type of definitions which we need to know is about the material welfare definitions. The third definitions which we need to know about is the scarcity definitions. And the last type of definitions which we need to know is the growth centered definitions. So these are the various type of definitions which we need to study. So let's come into these definitions in detail. So let us study firstly the famous economists, or who is rather known as the founding father of modern economics, definitions. That is, we know him or refer to him as the founding father of modern economics. His name is Adam Smith. So let us know who is this Adam Smith and what he is talking about, the definition of economics. So Adam Smith defined economics as the study of nature and causes of nations' wealth, or simply as the study of wealth. So basically he referred economics to be as the study of wealth. Study of wealth. Now, the central point in Smith's definition is wealth creation, means how we will create our wealth. What is wealth? Wealth is your money income being stored for a long period of time and which can be used up by your future generations. This is simply the definition of wealth. So, Smith identifying wealth with welfare. He assumed that the wealthier a nation becomes, the happier are its citizens. That means if a country is rich, then its citizens will be happier. So we can take basically example of suppose USA. You see, as they have a lot of income, so we can term them as a happy country according to Adam Smith. So Adam Smith's definition is basically a wealth-centered definition of economics. Now there are various characteristics of this definition. So let us know what are the main characteristics of wealth definitions. So main characteristics of wealth definition. Okay, so let us know what are the main characteristics of the wealth definition. So the first thing which comes into our mind when we see that Adam Smith's definition is a study of wealth, the main characteristics which come to our mind is exaggerated emphasis on wealth. What is exaggerated emphasis on wealth? Means we have put too much emphasis on wealth. So it gave too much importance to the creation of wealth in an economy. So the first point is exaggerated emphasis on wealth. Now let us come to the second feature, that is it did an inquiry into the creation of wealth. What does that mean? It also deals with an inquiry into causes behind the creation of wealth. Means how this creation of wealth is done and what are the causes behind it. So inquiry into the creation of wealth. So the wealth of a nation may be increased through raising the level of production and export. Means if a country is producing more and more goods and exporting them to the foreign countries, then their level of money income can be increased and as a result wealth of that country will also increase. Now let us come to the third characteristics. What is the third characteristics? It is a study on the nature of wealth. Means the wealth is of which kind of wealth. So we need to know about the nature of wealth. So let us do a study on the nature of wealth. A study on the nature of wealth. So these definitions have indicated that the wealth of a nation includes only material goods, that is different manufactured items. Non-material goods were not included. Means those goods which are of no material value are not included in this definition. So it gave emphasis only on material goods. So non-material goods like services of teachers, doctors, engineers are not considered as wealth. Though in terms of modern economics these are also giving money income, but in this case it has not been taken into account to define the wealth definition of economics. So only material goods, that is manufactured items, have been taken into account on studying the nature of wealth. So non-material goods are not considered as wealth according to this definition. So non-material goods like services of teachers, doctors are not considered as wealth. Alright, so according to this definition, this is not considered. So as there are characteristics, there are various criticisms, or which you can say the critics have done for this wealth definition. Means they have criticized this wealth definition and has shown its cons. That means the disadvantages of this definition. So let us know about the criticisms of wealth definitions. So criticisms of wealth definition. So let us know what are the criticisms. Firstly, which comes into account, as it is only concerned with material things and only the creation of wealth ideology, so it is neglecting the human welfare or the general welfare of the human beings. So first point which is being explained over here is human welfare neglected. Means if you are only concerned with creating wealth and earning more and more money, then human welfare can be neglected. So let me explain how this human welfare is neglected. The wealth center definitions have given too much emphasis on the accumulation of wealth. Means how the wealth will be accumulated. But this is only a means to an end. The end being human welfare. Why it is given? Because suppose if you take an example of Bill Gates and you take an example of a common man in India, the income ranges are not explainable. Means someone is earning suppose 400 rupees per second and one is spending their whole week to earn even a bare amount of cost of living. So this inequality of income is mainly prevalent in a country like India. And secondly, one more point where human welfare is neglected. Suppose, let me give you an example. I run a tobacco company, so I am selling of cigarettes, but that is causing harm to various youth of the country, but that does not concern me because I am earning profit and accumulating wealth, but that is not in the favor of human welfare. So human welfare is neglected if we are taking into account a wealth definition. So let us come to the second criticism of wealth definition. Definition of wealth. So what do we mean by narrow definition of wealth? In the wealth centered definition, wealth has been narrowly defined to include only material goods. So as we can see before that this Adam Smith definition only exaggerated on material goods, and non-material goods like services of teachers are not considered as wealth. So this can be defined as a narrow definition of wealth because only material goods are taken into account and non-material goods are not given enough emphasis or given enough importance upon. So non-material goods are also wealth, but these are not taken into account in this definition. So this is basically the second criticism of the wealth definition. Now let us come to the last and the third criticism of wealth definition. So the third criticism of wealth definition is it gives more stress on the concept of economic man. So more stress on the concept of economic man. So let me explain you what is this. So these definitions have emphasized that the principal motive of a man is to acquire more wealth for his personal benefit. So we have emphasized that the principal motive of a man is to acquire more wealth because for his personal benefit. So a man wants to earn or acquire more wealth for his personal benefit. But other motivations of human beings such as fellow feeling, affection and love and etc. have been neglected in the wealth-centered definitions of economics. So we need to know that not only wealth is important for the survival of human beings. Yes, it is an important factor for survival, but it is not only the means for survival. We need to have fellow feeling, affection and love for each other, and these important factors have been neglected in this wealth-centered definitions. So we need to take into account all these factors so as to live a good and healthy and happy life. So in this wealth definition, all these qualitative factors like fellow feeling, affection and love have been eliminated.